Hello, everybody. It is Monday in my world. And in addition to just some regular mundane household tasks, I am getting ready for another week by putting together a meal plan and a grocery list and going grocery shopping. So I'm going to take you with me. I will show you what I am purchasing at the grocery store and also what I am using from around my kitchen that I already have. Plus, I'm going to share with you what I'm actually making with those items, the things that I am cooking for my family and some of the meals that we are eating with those things, because I know grocery hauls are interesting to those of us who like that sort of thing, but I think it's even more helpful if I show you what I'm doing with it, so that if you find yourself in a position where you need a little inspiration, or maybe you just don't have time to make a meal plan for yourself, you can look at the things that I'm using, make adjustments according to your preferences and your household and the place where you have to shop, the things that you already have on hand. Then you can use my meal plan as a jumping off point. You are more than welcome to steal my meal plan. When I am thinking about the week ahead and a meal plan for it, I usually start by considering our schedule. My husband and I have 3 children who are 11, 12, and 16. So we have 2 middle schoolers and a high schooler. They are involved in lots of activities. So we do have evenings where we have a lot going on, and then we have some evenings where we don't have as much going on. So I have to think about, okay, when do I need a crock pot meal? When do I need a really quick meal? When are we all home and I actually have more time to cook? When are we eating in shifts, meaning eating at different times as we come and go from different activities? And then the other thing I think about is the weather. And we are at the very end of September. We enjoyed a false fall in August. It cooled down, but it has heated back up. We're in this last gasp of summer that we get in this part of the country. It's really pleasant in the early mornings and in the evenings, but in the daytime, it's still getting up to the mid to high 80s. This just means that I'm probably not going to do a ton of like soups and stews and really cozy meals. And likewise, in the winter months, I don't do as many sandwiches and salads. It just depends. So after thinking about those things this week, I took a look around my pantry freezer just to see if I had anything already on hand that I wanted to use up. I do have a few items which I'll share with you. And then I made a little list and a little meal plan for the week. I just pulled into Aldi, so I'm going to run in and grab some things there, and then we'll see where we are. Okay, I am sitting outside of Sprouts. I just got done shopping in there. I got things at Aldi, and then I wanted to run into Sprouts. I knew this would be a multi-store shopping trip, and it just so happens that I have lots of options like in the same vicinity, so I don't have to make a lot of special trips. I did throw some ice packs in the back of my car before I left. I buy frozen things, and I just put all of the refrigerated and frozen items together and in my little ice pack bags so that it'll stay cool if I'm going to visit multiple stores. I want to make one more stop though, because right next door to Sprouts is Target, and one item that I really want that I have a hard time finding is Good Culture cottage cheese. And they're almost always out at my Whole Foods and at my Sprouts. They don't carry it at Walmart or Aldi or my regular traditional grocery store research. The only other place that I know that carries it in my area is Target. And for some reason, when I find it recently, I find it there. So I'm going to run in and grab that. And my daughter also needs some things for band. She's in marching band and she needs some stuff to do her show hair because they have contests this weekend. So I'll grab those things and then we'll get home and I'll get everything out and show you guys what I got, and also talk about the meal plan for the week. Hopefully give you guys some ideas. I found some really good deals at Sprouts, by the way. If you haven't been to Sprouts in a while, their clearance in their deli and their meat, I've noticed amazing deals. 2 salmon fillets plus veggies, marinated and seasoned and ready to pop in the oven or on the grill for $12, less than 12 bucks. I think that's a pretty good deal. I picked up some things today, including things that I was already coming here for, so don't sleep on Sprouts, y'all. You know, as a regular mom in her 40s in the middle years with her family, I do a lot more than just make meal plans and grocery hauls and make sure everybody gets fed. I'm also juggling multiple schedules: basketball, marching band, swim team, football, just to name a few, and just trying to keep our household from descending into complete chaos. So I can name about 1,457 things I need to do or would rather do before sitting in an insurance office somewhere filling out mountains of paperwork. So if that's you, and that's the thing that's been standing in the way of getting life insurance so you can protect your family's financial future, then I totally understand. And that's where fabric can come in clutch. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done today. It's made for busy parents like me and you because it's all done online on your schedule right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. Plus, they have over 1,900 five-star reviews on Trustpilot. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee and you can cancel at any time. Even if you have life insurance through your employer, it might not be enough or it might not follow you if you ever leave that job. Even if you're young and healthy, now is the time to lock in low rates. So if you've been putting this off, seriously, Fabric makes it so easy. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/cmindymom. That's MEET fabric.com/cmindymom, meetfabric.com/cmindymom. Thank you again to Fabric for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. I was trying to decide if I should separate this out by store like I usually do, but I decided that I put it all up here because you'll mostly be able to tell, especially if you're a seasoned Aldi and Sprouts shopper, you'll know what came from which store. Produce, always a big part of my big grocery hauls. Usually anywhere from 20 to 30% of our grocery budget money is spent on fruits and vegetables, fresh, frozen, or canned. I have some romaine hearts. The zucchini were on sale at Aldi, so I picked some up because I like it sauteed or roasted. We have some bell peppers. I'm going to use some of those in a recipe this week. Baby carrots and also cucumbers are a common lunch packing item for the children. I have some fresh green beans, a little bit of parsley, a head of cauliflower for a recipe I'm going to try out. I also have a couple of different kinds of apples. These are the Sweet Tango apples and then the Honeycrisp apples. My kids and my husband actually requested those. They've been going through apples a lot lately. I also picked up some plums. They looked pretty good. We have some lemons, some bananas, and also a little bit of fresh parsley here. And if I remember right, all of my produce came from Aldi with the exception of the bananas. For some reason, I just don't usually care for the bananas at Aldi. I don't know why. The ripeness, they never ripen right on my counter. So I got these at Sprouts. And I also got the Honeycrisp apples at Sprouts. And I think that's it. I think the rest of the produce came from Aldi. Ever since I discovered the Aldi brand Diet Coke, it was a couple months ago, about a month ago, I have been picking up a case every time I go in. And if you are a fan of the crispy fountain Diet Cokes from McDonald's, in my opinion, when these are cold, that's what it tastes like. So good. So good. So crispy. I got the apple sauces because we have a swim meet and also a band contest on Saturday, and these make great snacks for both of those kids who'll be doing those things. When I see the mini meatballs in the freezer section at Aldi, I pick up some bags. I actually picked up another bag today, even though I have two in the freezer from the last time I was in. These are really good. My kids like them. If you see them in your Aldi and you want to try them, you'll probably want to grab them when you see them because I don't see them all year long. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. And then the sliced sandwich cheese might be the only other thing on the counter right now from Aldi. Getting into my things from Sprouts, I have some grape jelly here. We're going to use those with the meatballs. I also picked up some red lentils, and I specifically wanted to get these at Sprouts because I didn't want to buy a whole bag. We don't use lentils a lot, but I have a recipe I want to try these in, so I bought just about a cup so I could have just enough and then not have half a bag of lentils hanging out in my pantry forever that I've got to figure out how to use. My son has a field trip with his school this week, and they always request that we send a completely disposable lunch. Don't send lunch bags, don't send any containers, send disposable water bottles. So I thought this was a pretty sweet deal at Sprouts. I usually get the kids a Lunchable to take, but this is a turkey sandwich. And then there's also a bag of chips, an applesauce, a cookie, and a bottle of water in there for $6. I'm a big fan of riced cauliflower, so when I saw these that are seasoned a little bit, an Asian style and a Cuban style, this one has black beans as well, I decided I would pick those up because I can jazz up my lunches and meal preps that I do with that particular ingredient. I have about a pound of Boar's Head cracked black pepper turkey that came from Sprouts. And actually, one of the reasons I wanted to stop by Sprouts is to pick up chicken sausage. We're big fans of sausage around here, but I'm not cooking with it very much right now because my husband is trying to cut back on processed things. But the chicken sausage is a little bit leaner, and looking at the ingredient list, it's something that we can live with right now. These are sausage links. And I was going to pick them up just from the refrigerated case, and I think it was $7.99 for 4 of them, but they were on sale from the butcher case for 99 cents each. So I have 5 little sausage links in here, and I'm actually going to make these tonight. These are not cooked. This is not smoked sausage. These all need to be cooked. And I was so excited to see ground chicken sausage on sale at my Sprouts. It was $2.99 a pound, which is a great deal for a leaner sausage. And so I bought 3 packages of it so that I could toss it in the freezer. I use this a lot in the winter in soups, and this will be like a good substitute. I also picked up some thin sliced chicken breasts. I'm going to get these marinating because we'll throw them on the grill sometime this week for dinner. And I am going to try a recipe out that uses a very lean beef. This is a top sirloin, so it's a very lean cut of beef. And even though we're eating less beef, we're not eliminating it entirely. We're just trying to go lean when we can. So I was really excited to find these on clearance. There were several different like beef cuts on clearance, including hamburgers and ground meat. So definitely check out the clearance in your Sprouts. I went on a Monday. Maybe that's the magic day. I don't know. Unfortunately, I did not find my Good Culture cottage cheese in Target. They were out as well. I'm not able to find it. Haven't had it in several weeks from any store, but I remembered as I was walking into Target that I forgot to get ground turkey at Sprouts and Aldi. This is 3 pounds of ground turkey. I'm going to use it in at least 2 different recipes this week. McKenna always asks for these little mini granola bars when they come out during the holiday season, so I'll just stick those in the snack bin for the kids. And I also don't usually see this cauliflower rice with the peas and carrots anywhere else but Target, so went ahead and picked up a bag. Plus it helped keep some of my cold things cold while I was traveling home. Have y'all tried the Reese's Oreos? The Oreo cookies, the like limited edition, and the filling has sort of like the Reese's flavor. I'm not usually a fan of the special like limited edition flavor Oreos, but I thought those were really good. I got a package a few weeks back for us to try. I picked up one more package and they were gone before I even had a chance to eat any myself. Since then, I haven't been able to find the cookies, but the kids have asked me if I would look for the Oreo Reese's. So they have the cookies that are Oreo cookies with Reese's flavor filling, and then they have the Reese's that have Oreo cookies inside. I have not tried these yet, but the kids have wanted to try them. I happened to be walking by a place where these were at Target and decided I would pick some up so that the kids could try them. We'll probably break these open sometime this week and everybody will have a bite and try them out. Here are a smattering of items that will probably get used this week that I already had, so I didn't need to purchase these things. So if you were thinking about following along with my meal plan, these might be things that you would want to check and see if you have or pick up if you don't. I did not have to buy eggs, milk, or butter. We still have plenty. And then I also have some sour cream, some Greek yogurt, some cottage cheese. I also have plenty of cheese. I even have a few more packages besides what I see here, so I didn't pick up any. I have a couple of potatoes here that I'm going to use this week. These are large baking potatoes, 2 of them. And then I also have some rice and some short cut pasta. So this is the little stelline, or is that how you say that? These are like the little bitty pastas. Something like an orzo would be good, or maybe even a ditalini. I've got some marinade and some barbecue sauce. We have some breakfast items. The kids usually eat cereal or they toast a few waffles with peanut butter. I have oatmeal that I can eat this week. We have a few things the kids can use to round out their lunches, which will also include sandwiches and fruit that I purchased. I also didn't really need to restock like any spices or seasonings or condiments, so we just have kind of your standard stocked kitchen as far as those things are concerned. Also, you're probably going to want a loaf of sandwich bread for sandwiches. I mentioned the kids are going to be taking sandwiches for their lunch, but you didn't see any bread in my grocery haul or from my pantry. And that is because I've been making our sandwich bread. I use my bread maker on the dough cycle, just put the ingredients in and it mixes and kneads it and lets it rise the appropriate amount of time. And then I just put it into my pullman pan for the last rise and bake it up in the oven. I have a couple of different recipes. One is for a honey wheat bread, and then another one that's just a basic white bread. I'll try to track those down and leave them linked in the description box for you. My kids love this. In fact, my son has asked if I will just not buy store-bought bread anymore, if I will just make it. And I don't know if that's feasible forever. I'm sure there will be some weeks when I need to just buy a loaf of sandwich bread for sandwiches, but it's really not that difficult. It doesn't take too much time. It gets eaten, it gets used. It's less expensive than buying high quality breads in the grocery store. But if you are following along this meal plan, You're probably gonna want some bread. Okay, it is the next day and I finally have a chance to circle back here and wrap up this video by talking about our meal plan for the week and how I plan to use a lot of the items that I showed you. Sometimes things just get busy around here in the evenings and I have trying to be better about my work-life boundaries, which are very blurred considering the fact that I make content in my home to prepare on YouTube. But I have been trying to be better about just taking a break from talking to the camera in the evenings and really trying to be present with my family. I grab a little B-roll of the dinners that we're having so that then I can talk about them with you later when I have some hours in the day while nobody's around. So last night, very easy dinner. Lots of times I'm looking for something easy on a shopping day because I've already spent a lot of time thinking about food and meal plans and going and acquiring all the food and putting it all away and organizing it. So I decided to make those chicken sausages, the chicken sausage links that I had. I had initially thought I might do some kind of sausage and potato soup, but with it being so warm, I just decided that I wasn't really feeling like a soup. So I wrapped the potatoes in foil and threw those into the oven. They were very large, and I knew that I'd be able to cut those in half for the 4 people who actually eat potatoes. For my son who does not, I just made rice, which is what I usually do if we're doing something with potatoes. And I actually need the rice later in the week. So he got some with his dinner last night and I'll save the rest for later on. I threw the sausages onto a sheet pan with the green beans. Just season the green beans with a little oil and some everything but the bagel seasoning. And I just cooked them in the oven until the sausages were done. It took about 25 minutes on 375-ish in the oven. Super easy dinner. Those chicken sausages were really good. They were much, much leaner than our regular sausages that we would eat with pork or beef, but they were still really flavorful. So if you're at Sprouts, I can highly recommend those. That's my opinion. Tonight, I already have the chicken breast marinating. I just used a marinade that I already had on hand in the pantry. Sometimes I just use like a bottle of salad dressing. We really like the Kevin's marinades. I usually get those from Thrive Market. I add a little extra soy sauce or coconut aminos and maybe a little everything but the bagel seasoning or garlic salt. And to go along with those, I'm just gonna make a salad. We have plenty of salad greens. We have a little bit of salad dressing. And I've had this little pastina recipe, basically just like a garlic butter tiny little pasta. I've had that pinned for a while. I thought I would make that to go with it because I'm going to use the rest of that box of pastina later on in the week. And that lets me use that item up instead of having half the box hanging out. I thought I might make some more bread for tonight, but when I went to the freezer, I realized that I have some bread items in the freezer that I like to use up. So we'll just do that. And it's McKenna's gotcha day. It's the day we celebrate finalizing her adoption into our family. She has requested ice cream as a treat, so my husband's going to stop by and pick up some of her requested ice cream for dessert tonight. Tomorrow night, my husband and I go to our church small group and we have dinner together. So there's going to be a vegetarian chili there that will be really great for us. And before I leave earlier in the day, I will put some meatballs in the crock pot for the children, those mini meatballs that I got from Aldi. And I put about a cup of barbecue sauce and a cup of grape jelly and just let those heat up in the slow cooker for a few hours. I'll pull out the rice that I made earlier and then probably just do like some steam in the bag veggies or something, which will be a really easy dinner for them. One of the meals I'm making is a repeat. I've actually featured it recently. It's a ground turkey and pepper skillet meal. Comes together really quickly. It was very flavorful. I will track down that recipe and leave it linked in the description box along with the video where I gave more step-by-step instructions. And then I came across this recipe on Pinterest. I think the way you say it is uvetsi. Uvetsi. It's like a Greek or a Mediterranean style dish with beef and pasta. And I think I'm going to make a totally separate video specifically about that recipe so I can take you step by step through my thought process and my cooking process as I adjust a recipe for our preferences and our eating style, because I'm going to make some adjustments to that so that it fits better within the way that my husband wants to eat right now and what my family prefers. I'll leave that recipe though linked in the description box in case you want to go check it out, but I think I want to feature that recipe all on its own and try it out, see what we can do. I hope that there was something helpful here for you. When I release new videos on my channel, I usually pray, Lord, let this help somebody and harm nobody. So I hope that there's something in here that's helpful, or maybe a lot that's helpful. If this just gives you a jumping off point, if you're looking for a meal plan that you can implement in your own family kitchen this week. Until the next video, you can watch one of these and I'll see you there.